the communication of properties, sometimes called communication of idioms, or the communication of attributes. We go into more detail in ST2 on Christology. But the communication of properties states that what can be said, put it sort of crassly, so you have the person, the second person of the Trinity, incarnate, and he has a divine nature and a human nature. The communication of property says that what can be said about one nature can be said about the person. So if you can say the Son of God, incarnate, was immortal. You could also say the Son of God, incarnate, died. What you can say about his divine nature, you can say about the person, the human nature of the person. But what you can say about one nature, how do we do this? This means don't do that. You cannot automatically say about the other nature. So you can say the Son of God took a nap, because the Son of God, as a title of his person, he took a nap in the boat. You cannot say, you should not say, the divine nature took a nap. This has been from the early church fathers, Cyril of Alexandria in particular, and Calvin makes much of it. So at least the 4th or 5th century, this communication of properties is a way of helping us to speak properly and owning what the Son incarnate does without getting into lots of confusing language, so that you have the divine nature dying on the cross, the divine nature getting thirsty, the divine nature taking a nap. So the communication of properties helps us speak in the right way. So, without a doubt, the Son of God experienced change, but that's different than saying the divine nature became mutable. The second response is to remember that the Word became flesh not by conversion, but by assumption, to use that language. Not by conversion, but by assumption. That is to say, the divine nature did not change, so it wasn't converted. The divine nature didn't become a different kind of nature. The divine Logos assumed a human nature. Jesus Christ is the union of two natures. He is not humanized deity or deified humanity. He's not humanized deity. That would be divine nature is changed into a humanized divine nature. Nor is he the opposite, a human being that gets supercharged with divine properties to become a deified human being. We must be very careful with the language, lest we think that this is somehow bleeding together into some divine human kind of superhero. Christ, the divine Logos, assumes a human nature so that both natures preserve their peculiar properties. Bavinck says, neither creation, nor revelation, nor incarnation brought about any change in God. Did not bring about any change in God because it was a human nature joined to the divine nature, not the human nature turning the divine nature into some other kind of nature. So the Son of God did not take on essential change, but the assumption of another nature itself, human and divine, each retaining their properties.